Hey YouTube, it's me. I know you guys are probably getting sick of this, but I'm doing another Samurai deck profile. I'm just in love with this deck right now. I think it's probably my favorite deck ever. It's mostly just because I did used to play, like my first deck when I first got back into the game about 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now. Excuse me, just had lunch. was Samurais. That was back when Gateway was at 3, and then you run 3 Grandmaster, 2 Shogun, Shien. It was super. It was good. It was good. You'd focus on like Spirit, Grandmaster, but if anything bigger got on the field, it just didn't have that speed. And now Samurais are so fast and they have so much control that the deck is just super good. So I've changed up my build a little bit. I'm not running Squire anymore, and I'm actually trying no dojos. Now, so a lot of you are going to be like, what? That sucks. You need to run Dojo. And I do agree. I love Dojo. I think it's a really good card. But I've just noticed more and more now that Chaos Dragons are gaining a lot of popularity that we need trap cards to protect us from those big monsters. The likes of Bottomless Trapple, which you guys know I was already running in my last build, and some other cards which I'll show you when I get to the deck. I'm only running 40 cards now, since the reason I was running 41 before was just so I didn't really draw Squire as much, but the sucky thing was, guys, I found I was drawing them all the time. And I don't know if it's just bad luck, but I always find that like there's always a card that you want to keep in your deck, and you seem to draw it more often than not. So without further ado, I'll get to the deck profile, but before I get to that, I just want to quickly say I am making Kagemusha. This deck is so good right now. Nobody's playing it. This card is amazing. Versus like Insectors, Tour Guide, whatever. It's so good. The Synchro spamming and then going into Beast is still amazing. It's insane. And of course, just Kagemusha by themselves, you can OTK, and like my build I run limiter removal, and it's just so easy to OTK. Plus the fact that you can main deck Cyber Dragon, and it's really good for Zen mains. You really don't have any bad matchups. Side decking, obviously, they have an easy time siding against you because of Cyber Dragon, but with Bottomless Trap Hole around now, it's pretty easy to get around it, and you just gotta play it smart. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I'll have it up within the next few weeks. It's pretty standard. It's mostly just a very aggressive build. I do run Decrees and stuff and Instant Fusion, but I don't lose with it very often. And my side deck has just a lot of defensive traps that I put in if the Decrees aren't doing much. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully I'll have it up soon. I love the deck. It's super fun. So anyways, let's get down to the deck profile of the Samurai. Still running one Kageki. He's not good anymore at anything more than 1, because if you run 2, Veiler's so popular now, people are running 2 to 3. He's really your only card in the deck that's going to get hit by Veiler, so just the 1's good just for consistency. He's also a good wall if you set him, if you need some stall. And then next up, we got 3 Kagemusha, obviously. He's your only tuner in the deck, now that I'm not running Squire. And great card. Nothing more to say about that. Helps you go into Shien plays. Of course, he's your Asceticism target with Elder and vice versa. Elder's awesome because you can special summon him like Cyber Dragon. He gets you counters and stuff. And of course, I'm running the 3 Kizan. I love Kizan. You gotta run 3. There's really nothing more to say than that. Another card that I'm really liking now at 2, and now you guys remember I was running 1 for a long time, but now that Priority's back and Bottomless is back. Even though people aren't running Thunder King as much, this card's so good versus Bottomless and Mirror Force and whatever else. So I think this card's very mandatory. You have to run it. And it obviously also works well with Spirit Reaper. So 2 Grandmaster, really good. I would never run 1 again now that Priority's gone. Of course he gets around Warning too, which is good. Next up is Enishi. Yay, I got my ulti. Not super sexy. Still gotta run the one Enishi. He's your Asceticism target with Kageki if there's another Sam on the field, which I love doing that play. Kageki, Kagemusha, Asceticism, Kageki, bring this guy out, and then you got Shien and this in the field, and Zectors have a really hard time getting around that. He's just an awesome card. All one really good card. And if you have a Grandmaster in your hand too and you special that, you got a 21, 22, 25, and a bounce. You're pretty much set, good to go. Next up is the 1 Zanji. It's your Asceticism target with Kizan. And of course, it's just good versus Spirit Reaper, etc. Now, you guys probably know I'm still not running Hand of the Six Samurai. I know a lot of people think it's staple in the deck. I really don't think it is. I think it is a good card, But the problem with it is that you draw it a lot of times. You have to waste a normal summon on it for one thing, which sucks. Bottomless Trap Pull is now more popular, so that sucks as well, because you can't call priority to tribute anymore. Plus, Effect Veiler is so popular now that you summon it, and they know you're going to use its effect, and they're just going to Veiler it or Fiendish Chain it, and you can't call Prio. It's not as good anymore. At least with Zanji, like, yes, it's only one, but at least with Zanji, you know, he, I don't know, in most cases, if I was going to run, another destroying monster card, I'd rather run Irao. Because the one thing I find I always use hand for, like, I don't worry about getting over bigger monsters or synchros, because obviously I got Bottomless, Warning, Enishi, I can make Shien 3000 with Spirit, etc., etc. Or just XYZ for something big. But the problem is that, obviously, I'd rather run a Rao, because it's just, like, I do side a Rao, it's really good, but the time that I always find I'm using hand is for popping face down, so I think it's a Raikou. The thing that sucks is half the time, like, yeah, sometimes you hit Snowman here, which is good, but half the time what sucks is you're going to end up hitting into Sangan or a Dupe Frog or something that they're just a Recruiter, something they're going to get a search off of, and you're just like, well, I just neg one myself. And it's just not as good. And the other thing, too, that a Rao, if I was going to run another Samurai in the deck, I would main deck a Rao, just because he is another Asceticism target for Enishi and the Kageki, so it just makes it a lot more consistent, and just all around good card. Still running the one Spirit. Gotta run him, he's awesome. And 2 Effect Veilers. So I'm running 16 monsters now. Liking it, it's fine. 16, 17, 18, or whatever is fine. Along with the spells, 3 Asceticism, that's your engine of the deck, your toolbox. Your 3/6 Samurai Uniteds. Really, really, really good card. Obviously, you gotta run 3, and with Gateway lets you kind of abuse the card. And the 1 Gateway, the 6. Like I said, I'm not running Dojo anymore. I may hopefully find room to put it back in, but in the meantime, I just found a lot of times you would draw it. It's really good, obviously, when you go first, or when you need to, like, keep summoning to get around your opponent's back rows. But I'm running more of a control build now, which I think is a lot more important in this format. So with the control build, obviously, I can kind of slow play it and play around my opponent's cards and then summon Shien. I'm not going to summon Shien right away, especially if I'm afraid they have Warning or something, which in most cases they will. And Dojo is really good. It helps you with speed. It helps you get out some cool monsters early on, and it also works really well with the Gateway. But the thing is, Gateway is already an amazing card by itself. If you just draw Gateway by itself, you're probably going to get a +2 or 3 first turn, depending on what your hand is. And Dojo is going to help that by giving you maybe a couple extra pluses and then specialing a monster and getting another Synchro out. But like I said, it's a terrible dead draw late game. And I'm trying to kind of stray away from that just because Chaos Dragons are so good. This deck has a really good matchup versus Dino Rabbit, but Dojo does nothing against it. So I might go back to it, but for now I'm liking it without it and testing. So next up, we have the 3 kind of Rotas of the deck, 2 Smoke Signal and the 1 Rota. Consistency's sake. I still run the 1 Book of Moon. I still love Book. I don't run Dark Hole. I just don't like Dark Hole because I'm running, once again, a control build, and Book is just better. Now with Priority gone, Book's just an amazing card. Book the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons. They can't bring back Pulsar. Book their Lila. Book whatever. It's really good. And then you just summon Spirit next turn, equip it to something, attack over it, and then get a +1. +2, actually, I guess, because you just destroy by battle. I'm still running the 1 Heavy Storm, obviously. Even though I'm running more traps, Heavy's still a pretty busted card. And Monster Reborn. So that's all the spells. I do like Dark Hole, don't get me wrong. I think it is really good. But it's one of those cards, it's better if you go second and they like have Thunder King out or something. But then again, I've Grandmaster, so I'm not really all too worried. On to traps, I'm running, I believe, 11 now. I bumped it up by 2 traps, which you'll basically see I took out Squire, and I also removed the 2 dojos for the trap we'll get to in a minute here. So 1 double-edged sword technique still. I still like that card. It just lets you OTK, gets out some extra pluses, yada yada yada. It's an instant synchro. 2 Musakanis, I still think this card's too good not to run it 2. 1 is okay, you just don't draw it enough, and it's really nice because it lets you know you have this set. Gets around Warning, and obviously if they say play Mind Control or Reborn, you can get with Shien, and they're like, okay, now I'm good to go off with my Heavy Storm, my Dark Hole, and you have this. And win-win situation there, and they're just like, oh crap. Okay, so next up, the card I took out the 2 dojos for, 2 safe zone. This card's amazing. It's so good. Now, some of you might be like, oh, okay, he's writing it just because Billy Break, blah, 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 ran 3 Inzectors. I tried one before, but I never drew it. And now with 2, sometimes I'm drawing a bit too much. But the problem, or the one thing with this card, not the problem, the one thing with this card that's awesome is that drawing it too much can't be a bad thing. It's an aggressive and defensive card, which is what this deck needs. Now, if you had this thing set and they MST it, you can chain it to their monster, and it blows it up. That's a +1. That's awesome by itself. Now, another thing is, now this is a play that happened to me the other day against my friend, and it was awesome. I was so pumped. So, excuse me. I draw my turn. I have 2 level 4 monsters. I think it was a Zanji and a Kizan. Some of the Zanji, special Kizan, XYZ for Roach, and my turn. I knew he had 2 JDs in hand because he kept checking his graveyard, and I think he duality'd for one of them. Yeah, he did. He duality'd for one. And that was, it just hooped him because he needed 1 more light sword in the graveyard, and he knew now with the Roach he couldn't get over it. So he goes and draws for turn, top decks, charge the Light Brigade. I was like, crap. One thing that was nice, he didn't have Jane in the graveyard, or he didn't have Jane in his deck. It was in the graveyard, so I was okay. So he plays charge, mills 3, grabs the Raikou, and sets it. Next turn, I draw the safe zone. Now this would have been a dojo. This would have been a flippin' dojo, and I would have lost, because he would have flipped up the Raikou next turn, popped it, special 2 JDs, attack for game. So instead, I set the safe zone, and I don't attack because I know it's the Raikou. Next turn, he draws. I guess he didn't draw anything important. And he flips up the Raikou, targets my Roach, and I chain the safe zone and target my Roach as well, so the Raikou does nothing. And just the look on his face was just so funny, because he's just like, how am I going to get around this? And then I waited 2 turns drawing. He wasn't drawing any outs to the Roach in the safe zone, no MSTs or anything. And obviously I attacked over the Raikou. And then I go and draw into cards, bring out a Shien. I just slowly start beating him down for game. He can't drop the JDs, and from there on out, I won. So this card's amazing. I think it's one of the answers that we need, that Samurais need, to a lot of the main deck cards that hurt us. Chaos Sorcerer, BLS. You know, if they attack the Shien, you chain the safe zone. They're usually just going to banish it, but say they attack, and you chain the safe zone, and then attack the Shien first, and just bonk, take 500, that's fine. But then the nice thing about it is he can't attack again because it didn't destroy the Shien. And also, it's just good because they try to remove it, you chain this thing, doesn't work. Compulsory, Bottomless, Torrential, Mirror Force, D-Prison, Book of Moon, Effect Veiler, they can't even Veiler you, which is funny. Bryonic, nothing. This card is so good. And if you have the Shien or a Nat Beast equipped with this thing, it's just like, you have a total lockdown because their traps aren't going to do anything. They attack over it, it doesn't matter. And you have a constant negation wall on the field. And the thing is, like, yeah, you won't be able to attack your Shien, but you have so many other beater monsters you can bring out this attack. That's the thing. The Shien, the cool thing about this card is the monster can still attack your opponent. It just can't attack directly. So you can still have like a spirit equipped with the Shien, which is even more protection, which is insane. And then you're running over your opponent's monsters and getting draws out of it. So I think this card's really good. I think all you guys should try it out. Like I said, I took out the 2 dojos for this, and so far I'm really liking it. I just found the deck didn't, like, if you notice a lot of the OCG builds, and if you look back to old 6 Samurai builds, they used to run a lot of traps, because it was just all about getting out Shien, setting a punch protection, and your go, have fun getting around this. And I think the deck is still in that spot. It's like, Dojo's good because it gets you those cards into early on. It's a little more consistent with getting first turn Shien out, but you don't always need to get first turn Shien to win. And in a lot of cases, it's better not to bring out Shien too early, just because they might have outs to get around it really fast if you don't have the proper protection. So this card's just really good. It's versatile. Billy Break ran 3 for a reason, because it's a great card. I'm glad I actually have I've won more. I was actually thinking about trying a 3rd one in here, but I think 3 would be a bit too much, so 2's fine. But anyways, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think of the Safe Zone. Now that it's jumping up in price tenfold, it's like $20+ now, I think. It's crazy. It was only like $11 yesterday, and it's just like, now it's eBay, you look it up, it's like $20. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Sorry for talking about this card for so long, but it's just so good, and I think everyone should try it, especially Samurai players. That thing equipped to like a Roach, Shien, or Nat Beast is just insane. It's just insane. So moving on with the rest of the traps, we got 2 Bottomless, those are still the same. More Monster Hate. Might take those out and run compulsories, but I'm still liking the Bottomless just because of the removal. 2 Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment, and the 1 Mirror Force. So that's the deck, guys. It's changed a little bit. I'm really liking how it runs. It's kind of more OCG style, where they run a lot of traps and just focus on the asceticisms. They don't run dojo. I like it when, I know I've said this 1,000 times, but I do really like dojo. It's a horrible top deck. It adds more inconsistency to your late game draws, and it also it helps with your early game, but it's not very good if you lose the die roll and go second. So I'm trying to go for a more consistent build. I think consistency is key this format, and I find this build's very consistent. I might switch it back. Like I said, I really like dojo just for the the crazy plays you can do with it, but in most cases you really don't need it. So anyways, guys, sorry for the long video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out make sure to comment down below. Make sure to check out my channel and my other videos, and let me know what you guys think about the build. So anyways, you guys have a good day, and peace.